What are we supposed to do with the violence we see in the world today? Are we to absorb as much of it as possible so that we remain in the know? Well, how in the know should we be? Especially when the source for that knowledge has an agenda of its own, which may or may not be compatible with our peace of mind. The truth is, there is more good in the world than bad, and the good is winning its slow and steady race. It's hard to see, but the evidence is all around us. Take comfort from all instances of good you come across. They are not going anywhere anytime soon. We light this chalice with good in our hearts, not just the good we know about, but the good we don't. We light it in honor of the secret good which exists in us and in all hearts everywhere. We light it in gratitude for the unknown solutions and for our quiet partners in justice, whose number increases every day. May this candle represent one small light among millions. I have news for you. We don't have a gun problem. Well, we do, but we don't. We have a people problem. And against all odds, eventually the violence will stop. But not before we address the situation at its true source. And the signs are there that this is exactly what we're doing. Now, this is intended as a message of hope for those who are in fear about the way guns are misused in our country and what it will mean for our future. I would venture to put at ease at least a few troubled hearts. For others, these words may provide no hope at all, and they will conclude me to be a Pollyanna of the highest order. They may be right. Only time will tell. But I don't believe in doomsday, mostly because it's pointless to put our faith in the worst possible outcome. I see evidence of the opposite. Although I'm no sociologist, I feel a trend is visible in the way society reacts to growth. It doubles down against it. It first works all of its energy toward keeping things remaining the same. At the beginning of a movement, an idea may be a fly hardly worth swatting, but the more pronounced a movement becomes, the greater the reaction we see from the powers that be against it. Their response is always proportional, if not extra proportional, to their annoyance. The extra is the red flag. The more strongly they react against progress, the more their fear of extinction is revealed. When something knows it is doomed, it will use its last breath to fight back. The more energy and resources used to prevent it, the more confident we can be that a Hail Mary is all they have left in their arsenal. But the tide they are attempting to hold back is not about guns at all. We know that it's people who kill people. Guns are inanimate objects as value neutral as capitalism. Humans are what make things deadly. So the source of our problem is not the guns, it's the humans. And it's not about punishing our way out of a problem. We happen to know for a fact that method doesn't work very well. Our methodology for improving the world should stop relying so much on retribution and vengeance against those who commit offenses against us and start working more efficiently toward the real goal. When someone commits a crime, how proportional and responsible is our reaction to it? The more thoughtful our reaction, the more likely it is not to be a reaction at all, but a meaningful response. Are we doing what's best for the world when we choose how to met out responsibility for someone's actions? Are we making more criminals than we are healing? The answer is, statistically, yes. I believe it is an inevitability that we will eventually figure out that we all do better when we all do better. We are step by step ridding ourselves of old ways of thinking about other people. Generation by generation, we are seeing ourselves in others. This is good news. And much of the change we seek will occur in our own lifetimes. A lot more of it than I think we can presently guess. Because progress has been accelerating lately, and the absurdity of the response against it is the clearest indicator that we are witnessing the extinction of the old way of life, as well as its desperate fight to survive. We are in a new age now. It's okay to acknowledge it. What we might have suspected before to be true has now been confirmed and is being cemented as we speak by our step-by-step survival through a global pandemic. The whole world has changed before our very eyes. And there are consequences to that. And they are almost entirely emotional in nature. That is the source, the emotional heart of humanity. That must be our focus. All good will stem from that mission. Emotional health is achieved and sustained through proper education and physical health. We look to the government for these things. We pay our taxes and vote for these things. We donate to charity, who make it a point to do these things. That is the trend. And increasingly, it is our society's expectation. Good work is already happening with regard to the subject of guns, but it won't be our legislation about them which accomplishes it. The problem of guns will slowly fade away in direct proportion to our caring for humanity and the emotional health of our neighbor. The good news is this: the problem with guns is on the verge of ending, but it will be difficult to see in real time. The revolution of human awareness is at hand because of all we've been through. That is a garden from which only good things grow. Care for people who hold guns. Care about their education and physical health. Support anything you can which enhances these two things for all people, but especially those who are susceptible to fear. Take note of all ways in which this mission of human flourishing is already well underway. Good things are occurring everywhere in spite of the tragedy around us. The increase in open carry gun laws, despite the number of shootings we've had, is proof that they know their days are numbered. They are fighting tooth and nail, much harder than is necessary or called for. Why might that be? The Second Amendment is not responsible for the violence we see. It's that we've forgotten or have perhaps yet to truly learn that humans are our first priority, and few will truly prosper until we acknowledge it. In fact, only the few will. But if we take more notice of the subtle changes we already see around us in these areas of progress, the writing on the wall becomes much more deeply printed. The use of guns in the way we presently see it will become a relic of the past, like cigarettes on airplanes and words about others we already no longer use. We will remember these times as a barbarous age, because it is. But one day, we will more clearly see in hindsight the trends that were already working toward the right ways to support one another in the flourishing of humanity. We are figuring it out. The signs of it are everywhere. More and more, sometimes still violently so, we are demanding equal and fair treatment in the world. That will have an immeasurable effect over time. It already does. You can see it in the violent reactions against it. Put your heart at ease in this troubled time by consoling yourself with the rapid progress of humanity occurring all around us. Conserve your energy for serving those who are presently suffering because those changes have not yet fully come. Comfort the afflicted. Sit with those who will not enjoy the benefit of this growing age of human flourishing. Hold the hands of those who have lost loved ones in the fight toward this future time. Their sacrifice is noble indeed, and it is working to change us all. Be at ease now and breathe. Allow the breath to penetrate your being. Breathing in deeply and out deeply. Feel yourself becoming lighter, buoyant, lifted up in the breath. As you continue to breathe, picture a person standing before you. They are dirty. Their clothes are unclean. They have a strange look in their eyes, and their expression is disturbingly unreadable. They seem deeply unwell. You do not know what they want or how they intend to get it. You are afraid, both for them and of them. And breathe. In your mind's eye, picture yourself fetching a container of warm water, soap, a clean cloth, and a soft, dry towel. Return to the disheveled person and invite them to sit. You gently kneel at their feet. It would be expected that you might feel revulsion. They might smell bad or make you afraid of what they might do. This would be normal. But this is not a normal moment. Because you do not feel the fear you expect. You do not feel the revulsion. You are aware of the smell, but it does not seem to bother you. You are not afraid of them. One at a time, you gently pick up their feet, cradling them by the heel and gently placing them in the container of warm water. With the clean cloth and soap, you begin to wash their left foot. Oblivious to all that might distress you, your one and only objective is to serve them. And breathe. As you begin to wash their right foot, you notice that your hands are caressing them even more tenderly now, more lovingly, as if you would now impart a healing into them, into their heart, into their mind. You flood them with thoughts of ease and well-being. You find yourself wanting it for them as much as for yourself. As you gently dry their feet, you look up at them to see they are no longer disheveled. They are clean, head to toe, looking at you with a gaze of pure gratitude, a gratefulness much deeper than for just their own ease and comfort, but that what you have done has sent ease and comfort to all and everywhere. As they look at you with affection, you know this to be true. Sit for a moment now in the space of love and accomplishment. Have pride that you have used your gift to heal. There is no shame in being proud of yourself for a job lovingly and well done. This is your reward. Take one final breath and return.